All right. Well, welcome. My name's Miranda Martin, and you are watching this video because you heard about Martin Agency Financial Group. And yes, we are hiring. And this is a really cool business model. So I'm going to try to do it justice in as short amount of time as possible, explain what it is, who we're looking for, how it all works, so that after watching this video, you're going to go, yes, this is for me, or this is not what I want, right? Because this is not for everybody, but the people that it's for, my goodness, I have never seen anything out there that can change someone's lives as fast as this business model. So we'll get into it. Just a little bit about me. I am the founder of the Sales Jam, which is an app. It may be there already, but it will be in the Apple and Android store for sales training in your pocket. The first one of its type. I'm also the author of the Ultimate Sales Training Success Guide. I am co-host of the Don't Suck at Sales podcast that you can find. All the episodes are on YouTube, but they're all over the place. So I started this business as a single mom, and at the time my kids were 3 and 5, and I was married, and my ex-husband and I, we were used to making about $250 a year together. And what happened was when I was new at this, we ended up breaking up. I had about all these bills in my name. So I had to figure out a way to make like $12 or $13,000 a month by myself. And I always swore that I would never be a single mom. I grew up with a single mom. I'm actually from Canada. We didn't really have money. Like my bedroom was in the living room. We had cots we'd pull out, and at night we'd sleep on them. We put them away during the day to walk around. And I was like, I don't want to struggle, right? I don't want to be a single mom. I don't want to struggle. So when I became a single mom and had this opportunity to do this business model, it was a matter of I don't know anywhere else I can go and make that kind of money by myself with no degree. I didn't really have a lot of sales background at the time either. I just knew I was going to outwork everyone, and if they had a good system that I could follow it. So, to make a long story short, I've been here a decade, so I think it worked. But let me share my screen. All right, so I find that most people have, like, this same questions about how this stuff works. Like, how do we get paid? Do I have to have a license? Can I own an agency? What about leads? And I'll let you know that, yes, you do need a license. I'll talk about it in a minute, but this is something that's the most highly regulated industry probably in the world. So people do have to have a license to do it. It's a 40-hour course from it can be done from home. You also need to be licensed, have a social security number in the US and be able to work in the US. So if you're on the run from the law or have a bunch of like unpaid debt with like the IRS or credit cards, that might be an issue, but let us talk with you one-on-one about that. We do have leads, and everyone has an equal opportunity to build an agency, which is crazy. Most people I see people getting agencies in like 8 months. It took me 11 months, but my goodness, like where can you go, right? In my rookie year, I was the top female in the company and wrote $425,000 of business. And I was driving in my car going to people's houses. Now, this is all done from home with probably about 95% from home. But I also earned trips to like 12 countries. So who'd be mad if they won trips to like all over the world for free? That's what happened to me. But Symmetry Financial Group, that's where my agency is, and that is awesome because they build the relationships with the insurance companies that we work with. And we work with all the big dogs. You've probably heard of them, like Mutual of Omaha, Foresters, F&G. Transamerica, America, like these ones have all been around for like over 100 years. They're A-rated. Like, and when I write a policy, I actually get paid directly from Mutual of Omaha into my bank account. It doesn't come from Miranda, Martin Agency, or Symmetry. It comes right from these guys. So that's pretty cool. I don't have to wait for a payday like once a week. It's every time a policy gets issued. And people are making good cash here. Okay, we won lots of awards like top company culture and stuff like that, but my favorite one that we've won was last year in 2024. So I think we'll probably win it again this year, but we were number 9 on the Forbes highest paying jobs of 2024. So If you look, we were above Microsoft people, Google, TikTok. Like, I knew we made good money here, but I had no idea that we were like making more than Google people. Okay. So there you go. That's it. If you're done, you want to move forward, let us know. But no, it's real. Like, this is nuts. So, anyways, and there's probably some really good reasons for that. We've won the top company culture by Entrepreneur Magazine. 6 years in a row, we were in the top 5,000 Inc. ranked us in fastest growing companies. But it's because of our culture. That's one thing that sets Symmetry and my agency apart from the other organizations that you'll be looking at, is the culture. I knew I wanted to go into business with people that I wanted to travel the world with, and people that I could trust and that they could trust me, and I could build like a real future for me and my kids, because this is a business that can actually be passed down like generationally. And I'll get to that in a minute, but the company's grown like a lot. So back when I started, we were this big back in 2015. But now last year in 2025, we did $284 million. So we're going to be a $300 million company this year. That's pretty nuts. So what's important is that we have core values. And as the company's grown, like all it done is it's given us a chance to really find ourselves and follow these things out in high definition. So I like to show these core values early on, because if you don't resonate with these, you're going to hate it here. Okay. We believe in relationships, personal growth, communication, integrity, teamwork, act like owners because we own it. We do a lot of good in the world, like partner with Make-A-Wish and help terminal kids get their, final wishes. We help Habitat for Humanity. My child and I, we actually did a fundraiser for the Fort Myers Golisano Children's Hospital, where we provided I think it was 300 bed sheets for kids that were admitted to the hospital. And that was all because of this company. Also, we have fun. Yes, we do life insurance, guys, if I haven't mentioned that yet, but it is fun, which I'm like, how can those two things coexist? And it's because of the people here. Okay. But how do we do it? All right, let's talk about that. So let me ask you a question. How many people are going to die in the future? Everyone, right? Every single person's going to die. So let me ask you this. Out of 10 people, how many people do you think are going to be okay if the breadwinner dies or can't work? I would say like under one. Okay, there are some people that'll be okay. They'll be heartbroken, so maybe not okay like emotionally, but financially, 9 or 9.5 out of 10 people are not okay if the breadwinner dies or can't work. So that means that they need a life insurance policy of some sort, right? And we do a heck of a lot more than life insurance. Okay, we do, if you think about it, how many people do you know that have like a mortgage and would like to pay it off early and not give away like a ton of money to interest over like 20, 30 years? How many people do you know that want to have more retirement, or a retirement that they can't outlive? We can help with that. We can also think about people that have had cancer, or in their family have had cancer or heart issues. The top 3 reasons that people die are heart, cancer, and accidents in the US. And we can help with policies that will actually pay out when somebody gets a diagnosis, and they're pretty easy to get and they're cheap too. We can help children become millionaires by a small monthly investment. And it's crazy. So when we meet with folks, it's not a matter of if I can help them. It's a matter of like, how many ways can I help them? So just to give you a little bit of an outlook here, we do all this stuff. I'm not going to read all of it off, but we do a ton of things. Okay. So when I meet with families, like I can help them in many ways. So when I really figured this business out, even before we offered all this stuff, I was helping 9 out of 10 people I got in front of. But even if we just get in front of half as a new person, then there you go, right? So here's some statistics that aren't from the brain of Miranda Martin. Okay. There's like over 130 million households in the US. About half of them rely on 2 incomes. It talks about the average funeral, like around $8,000. And guys, most people get to the end of their life and they don't even have enough money to bury themselves. So even a small burial policy, like think about how many GoFundMe's are out there, you know? So we help with all that kind of stuff. So is there a need? Heck yeah, right? So much. But let's go ahead and talk about money, if that's okay. So grab a calculator if you could, because this would kind of blew my mind and it was kind of confusing. Okay, the first time I heard it. But you'll see on all of our like leaderboards and stuff, there's an acronym of APV, and that means annual premium volume. And when we do sell a policy to someone, the average policy is around $100 a month. Okay. So for the year, if somebody spent $100, how much did that cost for the year? If it was $100 a month, 1,200, right? Okay. All right. So for the year, it's a 1,200 APV. And what happens is our agents start at 80%. So they get paid 80% of 1,200. Okay. But they don't get it all at once. They do get most of it. It is front-loaded commission. They get 75% of that right away. So let me show you on here. There we go. So, all right. So annual premium volume, 1,200 AP, 80% of that is 960 commission. So we get that for the year. 75% is paid up front, and then the last 25% is paid in the last 3 months of the year. So the client pays 100, but we get 720 in our bank account. So if you knew every time a client gave you $100, you'd get 720, like how many policies would you want to get placed every single month? Yes, it is legal. This is called front-loaded commission, okay? And if somebody's looking for part-time, let me show you what that looks like. Okay. So this agent's placing about 6 policies a month. Okay, he's at the starting contract. He's issuing a $1,200 APV. And so that's about $5,700 a month, 75% upfront. So about 50 grand a year, assuming he did it every single month. And when I toss in the back end commissions, he's right at 70 grand. So the name of the game is consistent. You want to be consistently good instead of occasionally awesome. And that's in my book. Okay, I'm going to quote that. I did quote it. But there you go. So 70 grand for placing 6 policies a month. When I look at a full-time, the agents, they've started 80 and they go all the way up to 130%. So that's the top contract level. That's where I'm at. It took me 3 years to get there. We have people doing it like in 24 months now. Okay. Because back then when I did it, when we went up in the snow uphill both ways to school, we were driving in our car and spending like 30 hours a week driving. Now it's from home in your pajama bottoms and slippers, and someone no-shows you, you just get back on the phone. But this is for an example of a full-time agent that's really placing about 4 or 5 policies a week. Okay, so that's about 15 to 20 a month. And this woman has been here now. We can get a raise every month for the first 3 months. So she may have been here 90 days ago and she's already at a 95% contract. So let's run the numbers. So she's going to be at about 17 grand for the month. We toss the 75% up front. So she's at 150 for the year. Somebody wants to make more than that, then they're getting in front of 15 or 20 people a week. Let's say someone wants to be at 300,000. Dylan Crane, who came over from professional basketball, the guy wrote he made $1 million in his first year, but he said that he gets in front of about 30 people a week. So the sky's the limit. There's not really a minimum amount or maximum amount that somebody has to work. When we partner with someone, we want it to be the right person that's going to give 100%. Like if they're part-time, just don't be part committed, right? But we want to partner with the right people that we can help them reach their goals and that it's a good match. Because at the end of the day, if we partner with the wrong people, we don't make a dime unless you make $1. Okay. So we do look for the right people that really want this opportunity and to change their lives with this business model. But we have people from all walks of life that do this business. I started as a single mom. I had a call center background. I used to run a marketing room, work trade shows. I did direct mail orders, stuff like that. But a lot of people are coming over here from like nursing or network marketing or door-to-door sales, or college grads that are like, hey, what do I do now? I want to make a lot of money, right? They get out of here and they come and join our team. We have people from all walks of life, like Harvard grads, people that were like homeless when they found this opportunity. It really doesn't matter somebody's like background. It matters like, are they going to work it? Do they have grit? Are they coachable? Are they going to follow our proven system? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what somebody did before. It matters what they're going to do here. Okay. And this is an example of our new writers. And I left this one on. It just cut this number in half because that's normally what these guys actually had like deposited in their bank account for easy math. And then November of 2025, I left this one on because this was like a little bit of a slower month corporate wide. Usually we have 3 or 4 people over 100 grand for the month. So I wanted it to seem like a little bit more realistic. So I left this on because again, you know, sales is up and down, but you see Dylan used to play pro basketball at the top there. And we've got Christopher Scott, who's an agent that I've been working with. He used to be a music teacher. He went to our conference. He went through our training program. He wrote like 20 grand a month. And then he went to conference. He came out writing about 40 grand a month. And then after our last conference, he's only been here like a year, okay? He came out of our last conference and then wrote $100,000 a month. And we threw like kind of a little party for him, but I have a shoe line called Miranda Italy if you want to check it out, but I made him a sneaker. I think it's back here called the Record Breaker. So he was all excited. So maybe if this works out and you're on my team and you do something like this, I'll make you a shoe. But who knows? But that's really the production side of things, and in a nutshell, and that's usually what gets people over to life insurance is, okay, I work hard, you know, I make money fast. And here's the thing I'll say is if this was easy, everyone would do it. And it wouldn't pay so well. So it is simple, but you gotta work. And this is a business, right? And every single person that does this, they're self-employed. So it's not like I'm someone's boss and I'm like, hey, you didn't show up, you're fired. Like everyone's in business for themselves. So they got to find their why. They got to figure out why they want to do a business like this. Maybe it was someone that you knew that had life insurance or didn't, or someone close to you, or maybe that hasn't happened yet. That was me. I didn't really have a big story when I started, but the person who brought me in, Ryan Miller, he had a story. So I was able to share him the story about his dad passing away because he fell and he fell and landed on his ribs and it punctured his lungs and he ended up in the hospital. Next thing you know, his lungs collapsed and he passed away and his mom didn't have any money. So the kids were like trying to figure out like who's going to pay for her. And they found an old piece of paper in his office. And he was the type of guy who didn't believe in life insurance, right? And it ended up being a accidental death policy.
I'm sitting on the bed waiting for you to tell me whatever it is you've been having me in suspense about.
Oh, okay.
You're funny.
The kids are in the kitchen. What's up?
Okay.
Oh, so I talked to the state. All of Dad's credit cards have now been closed out, zeroed out.
Okay.
I talked to the life insurance people today. They did approve the claim, but it's for an amount other than what we thought. So you're going to get 3 deposits in 7 to 10 business days. You're going to have 1 deposit for $500, 1 deposit for $500.
Okay.
And then the last deposit, the last deposit is for $150,000. No.
That one piece of paper that Michelle found is gonna be and before it'll be real close to Dad's birthday bomb. It's $150,000.
Oh my God.
So I figured out the amount 2 days ago when I talked to you. I did the math in my head and realized he had did the coverage for 300 grand for family. Now, being he's over 70, they cut it in half, so it's 150,000. Plus, the bank had an additional $1,000 of coverage that they gave for free. So you're getting $151,000.
Within 10 days, Mom, they're going to deposit $151,000 in your account.
Oh my God! Are you sure? I mean,
I talked to her this afternoon.
They approved the claim, and that's what Dad paid for.
He paid $600.
That paid $150,000. And that got Ryan over here because that changed his life. And then I was one of the first people that he brought over to this business. And then we basically brought over a ton of people that we used to work with that were a part of our work family in our last industry. And the rest is history. So the why is so important. So if this is something that's a good fit for you, I want you to think about why, right? And that's something that we discuss on the interview, the one-on-one interview after this video. But production is what gets people here usually. That's what got me here. But what Symmetry specializes in is taking people that don't know how to be their own boss. Maybe they've never done it before, or they've never done insurance, and helps them build a real sustainable business. Production's a business, but here's the thing. When your feet stop, so does your income, right? And that I was the top female my first year. That's cool. But when I wanted to go on a vacation, I remember winning my first trip to Hawaii. And I couldn't really afford to go. I went, but my upline had like $7,000 hit his bank account that week. And I was like freaking out about having appointments because I still needed to make my now money. And building an agency is what gives us like the forever money. Okay. And Symmetry gives everyone an equal opportunity to have an agency. And what's really special about this is that Symmetry, the thing is that this is how we get time and money freedom. All right. So that's special because what happens if you need to take some time off because you're not feeling well, or your family, you want to care for your family, or you want to go on a trip, right? Now we have time and money freedom. We have leverage, but we also have a business that you contractually own that can be willed, it can be sold, it can be passed down through generations. And during my last 10 years, there's been people that have died during the time that I've worked here. People that have got diagnosed with cancer, and next thing you know, now they're not here. And now their family or their spouse was able to get licensed and take the business over. When I first started, an agency owner was going hunting and fell out of a tree stand and died. So his wife was able to take his business over. So my 15-year-old is like been learning the business for like 3 years because he wants this business. And I don't know what 15-year-old like goes to school and says, I want to be like in life insurance when I get bigger. It's like he is that guy, right? Because we're making insurance sexy, you know? So let's talk about agency ownership. Okay. First and foremost, I'm just going to let everyone know that the new guys don't train the people. So a lot of times people want to start building a team right away, and they can, because who do you think trains them? Not that new person that doesn't know what the heck they're doing. The agency owners. So they get plugged into our training, and that's still a member of that person who brought them in their team that can be used to get their promotions and such. Okay. And so I started building seriously about a year in. Most people that really want this, they'll start building right away. Okay. Because what ends up happening is when we start, most people are in this the active money quadrant. There's a book called Slow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. And he talks about how there's 4 business quadrants. There's employee, self-employed, business owner, and investor. And 95% of people live on that active side of the quadrant, but like 95% of the wealth is on the passive side. So we help people go from self-employed to passive and being that business owner, like right out of the gates. Okay. So as an agency owner, okay, this is Jasmine. And let's pretend that, she could have hit this, I would probably say within 8 months. But at agency owner, agents are at 105 contract level. She actually is from Germany, and she came here with English as her second language. And she grew an awesome business here. but she's probably still producing about $15,000 per month. And then her team's doing about 35,000. So you can see we've got some new guys at 80 and then one girl who's at 100. So she's probably needing less help. So those agents get their money from the insurance company, and then Jasmine gets her override. Okay. So she's making about $250 a year. And if you're really engineered minded, you can run the numbers. There you go. And on top of that, it doesn't stop there, right? So average agency owners are probably at about $250 a year. But myself, I'm at that executive vice president category, which means that I've had agencies on my team that have like birthed out other agencies. Okay. And usually the spread is about 15% just across the board. So if we start tossing in all of the numbers, if we're issuing about $500,000 a month, you guys can see that now we turn into like video game numbers. And I show this not because I'm expecting you to make sense of this all right now, just because I want everyone to understand, like, this is something that's doable. Okay. When I started, there was only 50 people at the top of at agency owner, and now there's over 50 people at the top of Mount Symmetry. So it's not just like Miranda did it, like it's like there's a bunch of us, right? And so after somebody gets to the 130 contract level, and then they help someone else get to the 130 contract level, now we get a profit share off of the entire company. Okay, now it gets to be nuts. And we have bonuses all over the place, but Bryant got a producer bonus for like $2,000. Ryan and Michelle that brought me in, they're averaging around 45, 50 grand a month with their equity bonus. And Marshall, who's the head of our hierarchy, and our agents have a chance to work with him and Ryan quite a bit. 150 grand, guys, is like an average bonus for Marshall. And he did something really cool with his bonus. He won too many trips, so he actually bought a house. It's the biggest one on Lake Hartwell, Georgia. And he has our top producers come hang out with him in the summer. He helps mentor them. We have a private chef. Like it's a ball, man. He's a cool dude. So that's how that part works. Let's transition over to leads. This is why I came to Symmetry, because I didn't want to sell to everyone that I knew. But we don't have to buy leads, we get to. Some people say, hey, I know a lot of people. I'm just going to sell to them. We call that warm market. I have a girl that just joined my team, and she knows like everyone at the kids' school and like everyone in our neighborhood. And like she has bought leads, but like she's got so many people she knows that like I'm jealous because I'm not that outgoing. But also there's social media that's free, right? Facebook, Instagram, that sort of thing. But most people want to partake in the lead program because corporate spends like $30 million a year on this thing. And they share in the cost so that we have affordable leads for agents that range from like 40 cents up to like $20 to $50 a piece. And I appreciate that because in my last life, I had to pay that money. I had to come out of pocket with my investors and my business partners and spend like $2 to $3 grand a week on marketing. And we just like prayed that someone would respond. And sometimes a lot did, and sometimes like 3 people. And that was like, that sucked, man, right? So corporate takes that risk for us, and they help us have affordable ways to get in front of clients. Usually it's with mortgage protection, which means that these people just bought a home or refinanced or did in the past and responded. So they asked for help. And they're people that I like working with because if they got a mortgage, do you think the bank made sure they had a bank account and that they had money to get a mortgage and steady income? That's who I want to work with, those types of people, you know? So usually agents will do the lead program because to make the money that I was talking about, it's all about getting in front of people and getting in front of a consistent amount of people every single week, right? 10 spirit fingers if you're full time, and then usually 5 or 6 a week if you're part time. And in order to invest in the lead program, let's say someone's only doing leads. They're like, hey, I don't want to have to sell to people I know. Maybe I'll get some stuff from social media, but I don't want to bank on it. Somebody that wants to be at 50 grand a year, usually they're going to invest about 200 or 250 a week into their marketing spend. Somebody that wants to be at like 10 grand a month, well, that'll be closer to like 400 a week. Somebody that wants to be at 20 grand a month, that'll probably be like 800. So it's like we almost get to buy our production. So we start small and then we like work our way up, from there. I would just say that whenever somebody decides to move into this business and we agree to work together, I'm like, have a startup budget for 6 weeks. My startup budget was my credit card. Okay. So it's not necessarily about resources, it's about resourcefulness. But I bring that up because we want to make sure that somebody gets their business off the ground, as quick as possible. Once the leads have come in, we have something called funnel that will help us call them. It can do dials up to like 100 dials an hour. Our old cell phone, that would be like 35 dials an hour. And then funnel will actually, while we have the client on the phone, it'll start like giving us rough estimates on how much this policy is going to cost. There might even be an apply button. But people do have to have a license to do this. Okay, I mentioned that before. The licensing is important because it's not hard. It just takes time. Okay, it's a 40-hour course. It's done from home, and most people can get through it in 7 to 10 days. I do have some people that can do it in like 3 days, like rock stars can get through it in 3 days, but we want our students to pass. Okay, so whatever length you do it, just make sure you pass. Because once we pass the test, we have to register for the license. And at that point, I start saying, hey, let's learn these modules. Here's the scripts. Hey, let's get some practice presentations. Like we start moving immediately. And then once that license comes in, we're able to buy leads and actually get meeting with people right away. So the timeline, if we're sitting here unlicensed, we can actually be making money within like that 3rd week. And the pre-licensing course, right now I have a discount. Usually it's a couple, like $300 to $400 for the school, but I have a course and I'll have it show up on the screen here. And I have agents enroll in that, and it's the deluxe package. It has like flashcards and stuff like that. They have modules, they have YouTube channel, like all sorts of stuff. So we enroll in that. And then usually it's about $70 to just take the test, and then about another $70 to register for the license. And some states like Florida require fingerprints. Okay, so all said and done, somebody has their license and is ready to go for like $250 to $350. And I tell reps to save their receipts because everything's now a tax write-off. The part of the house, any expenses, a lead, even taking a potential business partner or a client out for lunch, like write-offs are awesome. Okay. And then once we have the license, corporate has a summit modules that we start going through. Some of them are fun. These are the founders. Some of them have interactive role play. And also, like I mentioned before, the sales gym and the app store, hopefully that's live by the time you watch this video. But this is going to change how agents learn because they can actually role play at like midnight with like an AI version of me. Like it's awesome. But in the meantime, we have huddles like every day. Okay, they're like about 15 minutes long. We read books. We have dial parties. There's like 500 of us that get together for these things. Sometimes I give away fire hair. Sometimes we play Jeopardy. But all my agents, they enroll into a 6-week jumpstart program at the moment where this is where we teach business partners how to grow their business and what's important to focus on each week. Also, all the agents on my team have a private 911 string. And this string is important because there's like 10 to 15 leaders on the string that will hop on and help close or help with whatever the agent needs while they're live with a client. So that's not something that you find all over the place. This is something that our family does for our agents. But I find that a lot of new guys don't want us to come on because they feel comfortable, which is awesome. But that's there. And I say we work from home like 95% of the time because twice a year we have conference. And conference is the time when we do have to get out of our pajama bottoms and see each other in real life, okay? And this is where we learn how to go from writing a policy to changing our life with this business model. Just like, making that 200 or those crazy numbers like Marshall and Ryan, all of that happens at the live events. And I almost didn't go to this conference when I was new because I was horrible at this. I'm like, there's no way this is for me. And I got on the airplane. I went to the convention. There was like all these breakout classes that agents can choose from. And I came out of that and I wrote $58,000 of business on my own pen that next month. And I'm telling you, if I didn't go to that conference, I wouldn't have even been here next month. So anyone that I work with, I'm like, it's mandatory. You got to be at this conference. Some other leaders on my team don't have a policy that's as strict, but I want to meet my business partners, man, and I want to get to know them and see them in real life. And our next one right now, as of the time this video is filmed, is in Dallas, and it's March 16th through 18th. The next one's not until, I think it's in August, and it's in Denver. When I first started, my kids were 3 and 5. I was a single mom going through a divorce, and I had $13,000 a month of bills staring at me. What did all in look like as a single mom? I'm talking about it was do or die. Like, I locked myself in a room and I came out when I had that client presentation mastered. I got in front of 10 people a week, no matter what, do or die, like my life depends on it. Because guys, it really did.
You don't need fixing. You need training.
I did all the work. I put all the dials in and I got no appointments. Every single person you see up here, the top leaders in this company did too.
Are you ready for change?
But I'm telling you, there's hope.
You're gonna watch people walk across this stage that don't have anything that you don't have. And I want you to know that if they can do it, you can do it.
So I have some discounted tickets right now. On that website, they're like $300, but I've got some for $140. Like, I'm talking Four Seasons, Ritz-Carlton, there's Iceland, Ireland, Canada, Hawaii. Like, these are big time trips. There's about 10 or 15 a year to win. And I also am hosting a trip. And last year we had 32 people from my agency on that beach, including all their guests. And we're going back there in November.
Wait for the drums.
Where the winners get 2 mani-pedis, 2 back massages, $1,500 resort credits. Like, it is freaking nuts. So in a nutshell, that's this business model. That's how it works. What I want you to do now is I want you to get with the person who sent you this video and do a one-on-one call if you think that this is the right match for you. If you found me on social media or what have you, I'm going to drop a link below this video for you to meet with me. And let's get together and see if we are the right potential business partners. And I hope to see you guys on the team. And thanks for watching.